Hello, everyone. Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Our show is captured and linked to YouTube, but programs are listed in the archives of both Blog Talk Radio and YouTube video, and you can watch as well as listen. We refer to our efforts as Musings with Steve and Teresa, and the shows are archived as such. A phone number will be presented later in the program, so I have paper and pen ready. We welcome your opinions during our discussion. I'm Steve, a co-host.
I'm Teresa, another co-host.
We're here to enlighten, entertain, and inform about issues we think are important. We want people to think about how positive actions make positive people.
Anyone wanting to join our discussion can call us at 347-308-8409. You'll be next in line. Again, that number is 347-308-8409. We'd love to hear from you.
Terry, what's the color of that blankie?
Well, I call this orange flame. I don't know how good you can see. It looks okay, but it's orange with darker orange eye. It looks like flame to me. And I put it in a brown binding. And on the back it has orange. You probably can't see that. It's little teeny tiny gold flecks in it. And I chose the brown binding because, well, I tried the orange and it was just too much orange because the orange that I have is fluorescent orange. And I thought that with the brown it made it a little more understated, and I think it's kind of elegant myself.
Yeah, well, I think it's a story about finding the binding there. You went several different places to try to match that color.
Yeah, it didn't work. So I had this brown that I just was actually looking for something to put brown on, and they just worked out quite well. I think that's quite nice. And I think it could be good for a boy or a girl. You know, either one. Cotton, washable.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, we've been discussing changing times from various perspectives, and today I want to present some observations of changing times now.
Okay.
We're continuing our efforts to entertain and amuse you by presenting our views of the times, including some of the tips of humor. Join us as we present my viewpoints on the news contained in the Sunday Columbus paper. But first, Terry, we already talked about the blankie. Oh, I want to tell you about the on my birthday party this weekend. I met my cousins Dave, Paul, Mary. I hadn't seen them since my brother's funeral. It was 2 or 3 years ago. My calendar memory is rather vague for unpleasant things. We were talking about our grandfather and grandmother Clark, and told several stories about the grandparents. And Mary had lived with grandmother Clark a longer time than the boys, and she called her Little Graham because she was about 4'8" in her later years. At 98, Little Graham slowly was losing her eyesight and her hearing. Arthritis had stopped her handicraft. She was then forever quilting, tatting, knitting, crocheting, always doing something. Well, as Little Graham finished her lunch, she laid on her fork and stated, "That's the last time I'm going to eat green beans. From now on, I shall have stewed tomatoes and sugar cookies." Daughter-in-law Laura said, "Mother Clark, you have to eat your vegetables to stay healthy." Little Graham replied, "I never liked all those vegetables. I'm 98 and I don't care about healthy. I'm eating nice from now on." And she did. She lived to be 102.
I knew that lady. I too do not like vegetables. I think you should save all the veggies for the food. Oh, here's was there any famous men born on your birthday, Paul?
Oh, no, just little babies. You know what always ends each birthday?
Yeah.
Why? Yeah. Oh, my. Yes. Well, I became disturbed this week as I read the Sunday Columbus Dispatch. I usually read the comics and the entertainment features, flip through the section pages as I go to the outdoor page on the back of the sports section, and then on to the miscellaneous columns like Abby and Miss Manners. But this week I didn't get off the front page before my ire began to rise. I responded poorly to the bureaucratic stupidity and the resulting indifference that descends on the poor, helpless citizen, the state budget had to be cut. The law of unexpected results was then turned loose on the citizens of Ohio. The state prison department removed 3 of the 4 prison inspectors, assigning the remaining employees the paperwork of the department, even though no inspections were being made. Now that reduction happened in 2008. By the year 2012, the state's failure to inspect Ohio's 349 jails, that ranging from full-service county facilities to temporary holding cells, presents a threat to the health and safety of prisoners, correction officers, and the public. Now, a prisoner was allowed to remain hanging for almost 4 hours before suicide was discovered. The rules call for 30-minute inspections. Prisoners were reported to be living in filth and waste in Jackson County. Now, minor roadblocks, you say? Well, what is revealed through these stories is that the normal bureaucratic stonewall action of it is not my department. No, without management directives and supervision, the budget cut breaks the chain of the operation, disconnects the chain of responsibility, and destroys the checks and balances that are contained in a well-run program. Now, training is neglected, procedures are skipped, and sooner or later there's a catastrophic calamity. But says the bureaucrat, it's someone else's responsibility. It's not my fault. When I say the crash is predictable as the rising of the morning sun, its cause is the lack of proper training of the remaining employees and the lack of the supervisors understanding the program and its resulting problems, which leaves us with the question, is it ignorance or stupidity? Now, ignorance is the absence of knowledge. Stupid is not being able to learn. In a while, I'll return with more peace for this week's news, but first, Terry, make me laugh.
All right. Well, keeping in line with the law enforcement, I have some true stories here from the Highway Patrol. This is one of my favorite ones. A police officer had a perfect hiding place to watch for speeders. But one day, nobody was speeding. He found the problem, and then he found the problem. Down the road, a 10-year-old boy was standing on the side with a huge pink sign that radar trap ahead. A little more investigative work led the officer to the boy's accomplice, another boy about 100 yards down the road, with a sign reading tip and a bucket at his feet full of change.
Enterprises.
Oh, here's another. One more. Okay. The motorist was unknowingly caught in an automated speed trap that measured his speed using radar and photographed his car. He later received in the mail a ticket for $40 and a photo of his car. Instead of payment, he sent the police department a photograph for $40. Several days later, he received another letter from the police department that contained another picture. Handcuffs.
You got that. The future bride advice how to get your man to remember your anniversary.
Did I get married on his birthday?
Here we go.
I can't see the words.
I got one here that's left over from a previous incarnation. The little girl reported at home that she'd learned at Sunday school concerning the creation of Adam's seed.
Oh.
The teacher told us how God made the first man and the first woman. He made the man first, but the man was very lonely with nobody to talk to him, so he put the man to sleep, and while the man was asleep, took out his brains and made women of them.
That's what happened to you.
Yeah, that's what happened. Well, back to my ending. The Columbus Dispatch is conducting an investigation of credit reporting agencies. The story is called Credit Scars, and it's the first of a series of 4. They've been doing this for several months.
Okay.
The collected results of uncorrected credit data by 3 giants of credit information are Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. They're supposedly under the jurisdiction of the Federal Trade Commission. Now, these organizations hold fantastic power over the American public and have little incentive to become more accurate in their record keeping, nor do they see the need to modify their high-handed public relations policies.
Yeah.
After all, people complaining don't have as much money as the banks and businesses that depend on their information. Now, the credit reports are a compilation of the information provided by those banks and businesses, so say the credit agencies. It's not their responsibility to verify the accuracy of the information submitted. Further, the FTC only collects complaints and has little authority to compel the agencies to correct their records. Now, surprise, surprise, this is bureaucracy at its finest. Unchecked business decisions with no regulation or accountability degenerates into a monopolistic, bureaucratic monarchy. I wrote it, I can't read it.
Yeah.
Why should we correct our records? Who's going to pay for correcting our records? We acknowledge a 1% possible error. That's 99%.
Correct.
Now, 1% error in their account base means over 1 million accounts in error.
1 million accounts.
The errors are not insignificant either. People are unable to change the record to show that they're not dead. People are unable to correct the spelling of their names or their social security numbers or their addresses. People are unable to get the records changed for stolen identities. People whose data was mixed with others cannot get the records corrected. There's no procedure for correcting discrepancies. The federal government passed a law permitting free annual credit reports. Now, try to get one without paying. My free credit report had several errors. If I chose to have the errors corrected, I must buy a membership in the credit agency.
No, that's not right.
A voice quoted from one of the credit agencies says, "We don't have to be perfect. We don't even have to be right. We just have to have reasonable procedures." Americans scarred by errors say the system is quite unreasonable. The necessary correcting actions will require transparency of data, correcting with government authority to compel the action. I suggest you don't hold your breath for it to happen.
Yeah.
Make me laugh again, Derry.
In other words, it don't matter what you do, they got the power. All right, well, let's have some more funny stuff here. Let's see now, can't do that one. All right, here we go. 2 men from the south of Ohio tried to pull the front off of a cash machine by running a chain from the machine to the bumper of their pickup truck. Instead of pulling the front panel off of the machine, though, they pulled the bumper off their truck. They panicked and fled, leaving the chain still attached to the machine, the bumper still attached to the chain, and their license plate still attached to the bumper.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But here's one that I found the other day. Women's suffrage. The agitation in behalf of women's suffrage was an ardent advocate pleaded with a tired-looking married woman. She says, "Just think, wouldn't you love to go with your husband to the voting place and cast your vote along with his?" The woman shook her head decisively and answered, "For goodness sakes, is there one single thing a man's able to do by himself? Let him do it."
Guns for Hire, an Arizona company specializing in staged gunfights for Western movies, got a call from a 47-year-old woman who wanted to have her husband shot. She was sentenced to 4 years in jail. Uh-oh! A Texan convicted of robbery worked out a deal to pay $9,600 in damages rather than serve a 2-year prison sentence. For payment, he provided the court a forged check. He got his prison term back plus 8 more years.
Did you ever notice that some people are like slinkies? Not really good for anything, but you can't help smiling when you see one tumble down the stairs. Oh. In summary today, we did a little to educate and inform, actually. We merely tried to amuse you, and we hope that we were successful and our show was entertaining. Our mission on these Blog Talk Radio presentations is to stimulate your thinking, lock your mind into new channels, pump up your interest in life, rebuild your enthusiasm. Whether you're pro or con, we insist that you join us as we investigate,
Evaluate,
and participate. Be part of the solution, not part of the problem. We want to thank you for listening to our broadcast today. This program is archived at Blog Talk Radio, captured and archived for YouTube video, and linked to our Facebook. Comments are welcome. We will return with our continuing viewpoints next Tuesday at 2 p.m., May the 17th, 15th, and we'll be discussing again changing times with a different perspective. Join us. Maybe some of the positions will be yours.
I'm Teresa.
I'm Steve. Thank you for listening. Remember to think positive.
Be positive.
Enjoy. Goodbye.